Welcome back everybody. If you're new around here, my name's Tracy and this is Tales from the Kitchen Garden, which is when I just show you guys what we've got going on our small holding, week in, week out. Sometimes it's every week, sometimes it's every couple of weeks, just depending on my schedule. I work full time as well as running this place with my husband, so just go with the flow of when they're coming out. So last time we left on a bit of a cliffhanger. It wasn't meant to be, but it was. And essentially I was in this room and we thought that there was a mouse in my carrot bucket. Turns out wasn't in the carrot bucket, but it was in the room. Oh my goodness. So if you haven't seen that, pop back and have a look at what that one looks like. But Stephen came in with Rodney and didn't get anything out of the carrot bucket, so I should be free to sort that out, but I'm still going to be very hesitant when I do. Anyway, I'll show you all of that when it happens. I'm not going to show you anything that might be upsetting or anything like that. All I'm going to say is we got the little sucker. Thankfully it was only little as well, but he's done quite a bit of damage. So he's eaten, or she has had a good snack on some of the smaller potatoes, and has definitely had some fun trying to get in the bucket. Stephen said those old marks were from previously, they weren't off this little mouse, or otherwise it's going to have the biggest teeth in the world. So I'm grateful for that at least. But yeah, not to worry, we've got it, so no more. Well, I'm saying no more. I don't know, because I suppose I should leave a mousetrap in here just in case, and we've blocked up where we think that he was getting in. But they're so small and so sneaky that they can get in anywhere really, I guess, can't they? So anyway, that's enough of that. Cliffhanger, I feel like it's a bit of a letdown because we should have had some dramatic music and I should have been doing some sort of crazy intro, but we've got it. Let's just leave it at that, eh? So this week I'm going to crack on and show you what we've been getting up to. Let me flip the camera around and show you what we've got going on. So these trees are apple trees. We've got apple, cherry and plum, but the plum has actually died recently. We're not sure why. Now you can see our perimeter fence, the actual fence, the wooden fence that you're looking at, that's been falling down since the day we moved in. So we've put these Harris fencing up that we had just to keep the cows out and make sure that we had a little bit of safety, if you like, or privacy. Well, not privacy, I guess, because they're see-through, but and this is what happened when we had the storm recently. So the tree on the other side of here that you can see, that actually completely fell. That was in our property and was in a hole in the ground. I can't remember where it was now because Stephen's dug so many other holes, and trashed this Harris fencing, which was timely, to be honest, because we've been looking at doing a new perimeter fence for a while now, and if we'd have just put a new fence up and that happened, we'd have been absolutely devastated. So what we're doing at the moment, we're going to make some changes in here. So this is where I got the compost from the other day. That was over in, I'm not sure if you can see because of the sun, but there's a line here of compost bins. Take it off and you can have a look. You can see this is where we have our fires as well. So the compost bins for the horses were all here. But as I say, we're making these changes. So these trees here, we've had to take the tops off because literally they were becoming dangerous, and they were also, there was just too much of them going on. So unfortunately we will be losing a few, but we're going to be replacing them elsewhere because I think we're going to put a cabin or something on here. But anyway, that's for a different day. So what Stephen's doing at the moment is putting this new perimeter fence up, or starting it. We've got the biggest, tallest post we could find because we want this to be completely private. And the reason that he's digging it in, so we're losing a little bit of land, is because, as you can see, this land just falls away. So down by the river bank there, it literally just falls down. And if you put them in where the old posts were, they're just going to fall and we'll lose them again really quickly. So we're having to sacrifice a little bit of land in order to be able to get a decent fence. And it's been going okay so far. But I've just heard a few blue words because he seems to have found a boulder, which is typical for this because there used to be some cottages built here, we were told, old working cottages, and when they knocked them down they just incorporated them into the ground. So I'm afraid that's going to be a headache for poor Stephen now. we'll keep you posted as to the progress of this anyway. I'm going to go in the greenhouse and get on with some work instead of just standing watching now. There was this red currant bush that was down where Stephen's working now, and he's actually dug this out. Hopefully, especially given the time of year, this should be absolutely fine. And we're gonna, it's huge, this. So we need to find somewhere to house it, but I've got no idea where that's going to be because it's going to take up a heck of a lot of space. We'll come up with something though. So that will be okay for probably through February without being planted, but we need to do that sooner rather than later. That's a really frustrated man right there. I would think. Today. So what I'm doing now is just clearing as much of the greenhouse as I can. I've got these peppers that you've seen me taking down. Goodness me, that's sun. And I've just filled the cart that we've got with them, so they're going to go onto our compost heap where I keep all of the straw bedding, the animal bedding, because they won't break down very quickly. But we've got this bit here totally clear now, and I want to do the other side and just get the pots underneath. I'm not going to do the big pots that the tomatoes were in today. I just want to get the peppers done, everything that's on the top essentially, and just get the tops tidied up a little bit because at the moment they're a little bit in disarray. But yeah, these big pots here are just going to stay for now, because what we'll probably do is take them individually to the compost bins because they're quite heavy. I'm not sure yet on those. But this is the tomato tree. Do you remember? Had leaves last time I showed it. I think it's still so solid. This is rock hard to touch. But all of the leaves have dropped off, which I would expect, and I'm just going to leave it until next year, or this year, next season, and see if it comes back. If it doesn't, then it'll get composted, but it's not hurting anybody at the moment. It does look dead, but then most things do at this time of the year, don't they? So I just want to get everything else cleared as best I can, so I feel a bit more organised and a little bit more ready for spring. That's terrible English, but you know what I mean. And then once the weather starts to warm up, I can at least bring things out here, and I've got the space to get them straight out instead of coming out and having to find space for them, and then you're kind of defeated before you even start. So I'm going to crack on, get the rest of these done, and then we'll show you what's going on in the back of the greenhouse. Is probably a sledgehammer to a nut, but it's just sweeping everything off the top, and then I'm clearing the pathways. The reason the pathways are so terrible is because the chickens keep getting in here and digging all of the stones out, but there's also a lot of weeds there that grew last year that I couldn't get to behind lots of plants that were taking over the place. So I know that they're going to take over again this year, so I want to try and stay on top of that somehow. Not today. Lots of plans, lots of plans. Right, I'm going to take these to the compost and I'm going to get rid of them, and then there's a couple of the big ones, the big planters that I had to move just so I could get in, so I'll probably take some of those as well. See how much time we've got. So windy though, I'll probably get blown away doing this. I tell you what, it's really warm. It's not that warm outside obviously because of the wind, but it's yeah, it's really warm in this greenhouse. I'm committed to this coat and hat though today, that's not happening. So I wanted to show you what's going on. I'm watering, would you believe, in January. We have these plants here. Do you remember me sowing these earlier on? When was this? 25th of October I put these in because everything else had come out. And let me just do this with multitask. And I thought, let's just get these in and see what happens. I think it was still a little bit too late because it could have done with more growth last year that it didn't get. So this is the rainwater from my little setup that I've got that comes off the roof of the greenhouse through a pipe and into a couple of bins that I've got set up in here. Now, the lettuce and the watermelons doing brilliantly. I've actually frazzled some other things. Can you believe I didn't water them enough? But yeah, they're doing really well. Let me show you. Some radish coming through there. These are the Easter egg ones. These are watermelon radish, and these are crisp head lettuce and a jack ice lettuce. And then the mustard I just obviously totally fried, didn't water, and the black Spanish round radish too, because I actually put some heat on, the bottom heat, and I've obviously just frazzled them. But anyway, I'm pleased with what I've got. And these are the leeks. Do you remember me sowing these? These were the 2nd of January, I think. So the blue de soleils, you can't really see that on the camera very well, but nothing is up yet from there. There's a line down the middle that shows me where the separation is, and these are the musselburgh. So I probably will get more leeks if I'm honest with myself. I did notice that somebody on the Grow to Eat channel, Perfect Days, she put in something, I think they were called Northern Lights, and they came through. She's still harvesting them now. I mean, we're still harvesting some now, but she said she sowed those in April and they're looking really good, so I might take a look at that variety anyway, but we'll see. I'll do a bit of research, and if these come up, fantastic, but at least we've got the musselburgh if they don't. That's a good job done. We have got the clear tops. I'm going to try and rescue one single pepper plant and overwinter it. I've never done it before, so I thought I'm not going to try and do it on multiple ones because it's just going to be a mess if it doesn't work. Another clear top here, a few bamboo canes that I've rescued, rubbish bin, the tomato feed, ceramic pots, that kind of thing, just neatly in the corner. We had some unidentifiable vegetable objects left on the top there, which have been cleared away. There's a very funky smell there. So all of this is now clear, nice and neat. This is my water setup. So the pipe outside there, that comes through that window. We take the bottom glass slat out and then fills this one first, and there's an overflow pipe and fills that one. When it gets too full, I just take the pipe out. And basically it comes off the drain pipes off the top. Oh, I've just realised I've missed. Anyway, never mind, Tracy. This is what I was just showing you with my little setup with the seedlings, and this is a bit of an experiment. I do like to experiment, and this will become probably a seed bed depending on when we do the next lot of work. So what I was referring to is basically this hotbed or seed bed with under bottom heat is going to get moved into this side of the greenhouse, and then these here will be a U shape of beds. So we'll take out this staging area here, definitely reuse it, we don't get rid of anything here, and Stephen's going to build up raised beds here, probably to the same height of the step, and then that'll become the tomato or pepper, probably tomato area that will be growing into the ground. Definitely tomatoes anyway, what am I talking about, because then we've got the height. So we'll put some of the wire across here, and then we can put the tomatoes and hang them on by the wire so that they stay nice and straight all the way across there and across the back as well. Don't know if we'll put a section in to get to the window, Probably not, because it'll be a waste of space. I can just step over, can't I? Anyway, that's the plan. I just need to see when Stephen's going to be available to do it for me, bless him. And that will then move into here, as I said. The reason that it'll flip is because the electricity is on that green panel there. And the staging above, I said I'd take it out so that I could tie the tomatoes up. I might grow smaller tomatoes on this side, tie them to the staging, and grow peppers along the top. Don't know yet. Anyway, so this will become the seedling bed, and I'll put all my seedlings in here. Probably only half, thinking about it. We'll see. Anyway, plans are forming. This will stay, and then what we do is during the summer we take the staging down when we've got plants that grow up and onto this wire here. And the next jobs will be to empty all of these, the old tomato pots, and get those ready to put things back in. But all of these pots are nice and empty. The blueberries, I'll probably chop those back a little bit this year. I'm not sure where those bits of wood have come from. That is a brush that we use to clean out the buckets, because that's the tap that we use for all of the waters. But yeah, it's looking miles better. I'm so pleased with it, ready for whatever comes next. The only other point I want to make is that is the fleece that I bought, the cheap fleece. And as you can see, it is totally disintegrated. So I need to come in with a bag and get that into the bag, because as soon as you touch it, it just literally crumbles in your fingers. So if I take that outside today, it's gonna end up looking like it's snowing in the northeast of England. But anyway, I'm pleased with that job. I think that's gonna wrap up another week of Tales from the Kitchen Garden. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. Take care, guys. Bye for now.